Hello and welcome to Power Ranking, a show where you, the fans, get to vote on your favorite things in video games, movies, TV, and whatever else the internet can get excited about. With the recent State of Play event, we got to see more gameplay for some big upcoming games, plus some big new reveals. From the newly revealed Crash 4 gameplay to the announcement that Hitman 3 and the whole Hitman trilogy will be playable in VR starting next year, there were a ton of big announcements. Based on the IGN audience's interest, there were 5 State of Play reveals in particular that stood above the rest, so we took those suggestions and pulled across multiple IGN platforms to scientifically determine once and for all which of them is the IGN audience's favorite State of Play August reveal, and over 216,000 of you voted. Here are your results. In 5th place with 9,449 votes is Genshin Impact, which didn't get quite an exact release date, but we finally learned it's set to hit the PS4 this autumn. This is a big RPG that we've been looking forward to for quite some time. You may have heard of it as the Breath of the Wild-like, but as the gameplay trailer at the State of Play, as long as other previews have recently shown, it's a bit different from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and PS4 fans can look forward to playing it in just a few months. In 4th place with 10,663 votes is Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. This was a brand new announced PS5 game at the State of Play with a big cinematic trailer that didn't quite reveal everything about the game, but luckily there was a PlayStation blog follow-up post and a lot more information that came out showing off that this is going to be a player versus environment multiplayer game where we're going to essentially see a new take on Arthurian legend. Don on YouTube said, "Not gonna lie, Hood, Outlaws, and Legends looks kind of cool," and it definitely was an unexpected third-person action cinematic multiplayer game that we have to look forward to early next year, hopefully, and that is a pretty exciting thing for PS5 players who just want to know what games we're going to get to play in the beginning of the next generation. In 3rd place with 31,303 votes, that feels like that was rigged. That's a lot of threes in the number. I just have to say that was not rigged, but that happens to line up very well. Anyway, in 3rd place was Godfall. Godfall we've seen for a while now. It was first revealed at the Game Awards last year and is set to be a PS5 launch window title somewhere in there in the holiday season. This is a big third-person action looter slasher, as they're calling it, from Counterplay Games and published by Gearbox. We've seen it quite a bit leading up to the PS5's launch, but in particular at the State of Play, we got a really in-depth look at what the gameplay is going to be like for fans, and it was actually captured on the PS5. So now you have a much better idea of what this looter slasher is going to play like, and I expect we'll see a lot more before its launch later this year. In 2nd place with 45,578 votes, see, not a number 2 in the entire number. There's something going on with these numbers. Anyway, in 2nd place was Hitman 3 VR, and actually the entire recent Hitman trilogy is coming to VR next year. We've known for a little bit since the PlayStation 5 reveal event showcase in June that we're going to be getting Hitman 3 early next year, tentatively scheduled for January 2021, and now we've learned that the entire Hitman trilogy that's been released recently by IO Interactive is going to be available fully playable in VR. Chaos Theory on YouTube says, "Might have to buy VR just for Hitman, LOL, that looks like a blast." And I don't know what's funny about being a Hitman to you, but yeah, it's probably going to lead to some really, really wacky scenarios where you're going to have to dress in chicken costumes or hide behind a very small pillar in VR. I can't wait to see how they shift the game as it goes into VR, but it's going to be very exciting to see the conclusion to this trilogy next year, either in VR or just playing it on your PS5. And finally, at the top of the heap, your favorite August State of Play reveal with 119,084 votes, as voted by you, the audience at home, is Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Yes, so excited. Can't wait for Crash. This is my personal biggest reveal at the State of Play, so I'm very excited to see it at the top of the list with about 55% of the total votes. This big new gameplay showcase revealed a couple big things in addition to showing us the gameplay. It confirmed that long-standing villain Dingodile is going to be a playable character, much like Neo Cortex will be playable at specific points in the game, and it also introduced the Inverted mode, which is their new take on mirror mode. It was co-developed with the team from Beanox, who made Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and essentially every level is going to have a unique take on it. So it's not just going to be levels being flipped, but as we saw in the State of Play gameplay, there are going to be some really unique takes, like a black and white world that Crash literally spins color into, some takes that look like an old noir film, and a bunch more. This is going to be a really exciting change to what we've already seen for Crash Bandicoot 4, and will add even more replayability than what we've seen already. Plus, you get to collect something called Bumpa Berries instead of Wumpa Fruit, which is perfect. Chomper Bandicoot, who I assume just is a very hungry bandicoot or just likes to bite things. I don't know, that's probably something they need to figure out in the family tree of the Bandicoots, but they said on YouTube, Crash 4 was the only reason I watched the presentation. I was fangirling over every single moment of the trailer. Of course, there were a ton of other really cool games showcased in the State of Play, so we got a ton of great suggestions from you at home, like this one from some dumb channel on YouTube. Don't count yourself out. I bet you're some great channel. Said, where the hell is Bugsnax? And I agree, where the hell is Bugsnax? Oh, they're in this great new gameplay trailer, which actually showed off what the gameplay is going to look like in Bugsnax, and is a great excuse to have that wonderful theme song stuck in your head for another week. You're welcome. Meanwhile, GRMP19 on YouTube says, the Pathless, anyone? When the hunter chased that huge monster, everything went from meh to holy. I can't say that word on this show. But they said the word, but they bleeped it, which I appreciate. Yeah, The Pathless is a really cool looking game from the developers of Abzu, another really cool game, and this one looks to be pretty great. It's coming to the PS5 as well as PC later this year, so hopefully we'll get to see more of this amazing archery / Falcon hanging out gameplay sim. I assume that's what it is. Hopefully we'll get to see more later this year before it's released, because it looks fantastic. Now, if you missed this poll, too bad. You were probably busy on Amazon just refreshing the PS5 page, hoping that pre-orders would go live, but they haven't yet, I hope. Otherwise, I've missed them while I've been recording this episode. But you can still do your part and get yourself on all these IGN platforms to get your vote in for the next poll right now, because there are no redos. But is there anything we left off this list that should have been number one? Do you agree or disagree with the results of this ranking? Let us know, and as always, keep yourself locked to IGN.